You will not believe who just called Lionel Messi the greatest of all time, and it was not another soccer player, it was the reigning face of American football himself, Patrick Mahomes, because what happened inside Mercedes-Benz Stadium on Wednesday night was not just a soccer match, it was a 10-minute stretch of chaos that turned Argentina from a team on the brink of elimination into a team standing one win away from history, and by the time it ended, even a two-time Super Bowl MVP could not stay quiet. Lionel Messi has spent almost 2 decades collecting trophies, breaking records and silencing doubters, but what he produced against England in this World Cup semi-final might be the single wildest closing stretch of his career, and he did it with assists not goals, which somehow makes it even more messy. Here is the setup. Argentina walked into this match as the defending champions, looking to become the first country since the early 1960s to win back-to-back World Cup titles. England on the other side had Harry Kane and Jude Bellingham, two of the most dangerous attackers in the tournament, and a manager in Thomas Tuchel who built a defense that frustrated Argentina for almost the entire match. For the first 30 minutes, neither team could manage a single shot, which historically had not happened at a World Cup since the tournament first went out live on television back in 1966. It was tense, it was cagey, and it looked like it might stay that way. Then, in the 55th minute, England broke the deadlock. Anthony Gordon received a cross from Morgan Rogers and buried it past the Argentina goalkeeper to put England up 1-0, and from that point England did something that looked smart in the moment but would haunt them by the final whistle. They sat back. Tuchel brought on bigger, more defensive-minded players. Argentina kept the ball but could not find the breakthrough, and it felt like England was going to hold on and shock the two-time defending champions. Then came the 85th minute. Enzo Fernandez, who had already been testing England goalkeeper Jordan Pickford with long-range efforts all match, finally connected. Messi slipped a pass out to him. He took it first time from well outside the box and curled a shot that bent away from every defender and past Pickford, who had no chance to reach it. 1-1. Argentina had life again, and this is where it gets absurd, because barely 4 minutes later in second half stoppage time, Argentina struck again. Alexis Mac Allister rattled a shot off the post, and instead of the danger clearing, Messi collected the loose ball, calmly held it, composed himself while England scrambled to reset, and then lofted a cross into the box that found the head of Lautaro Martinez, who buried it. 2 goals, 2 Messi assists in less than 10 minutes, and Argentina had flipped a 1-0 deficit into a 2-1 win that sent them to their second consecutive World Cup final. Across the full 90-plus minutes, Argentina outshot England 14 attempts to 5, and it was clear which team wanted it more in the moments that mattered. England will now play France for third place on Saturday, while Argentina turns its attention to Spain in Sunday's final at the Meadowlands in New Jersey, a rematch on the grandest stage between the reigning champions of South America and the reigning champions of Europe. Now here is where Patrick Mahomes enters the story, because Mahomes has spent his own career hearing people debate whether he is on track to be the greatest quarterback of all time, and yet after watching Messi orchestrate that finish, he did not hesitate. He posted a reaction with 3 GOAT emojis stacked together, a blunt, unmistakable way of saying there is only one GOAT conversation worth having tonight, and it is not about him. That was not even his only message about Messi that night. Mahomes had already posted once before the 3 emoji reaction, showing that he was locked into this game from an early point, not just reacting to the final score but following the run of play as it happened, which says something considering Mahomes is in the middle of his own preparations for another NFL season. It is a small moment in the grand scheme of a World Cup, but it captures something bigger about how far Messi's influence reaches at this point in his career. He is not just the best player in a sport that draws billions of fans worldwide, he has become a reference point across sports entirely, when arguably the best quarterback of this NFL generation stops what he is doing to publicly hand someone else the GOAT title. That tells you everything about the kind of night this was for Argentina. This result also extends a pattern that has become almost a signature of this current era of the national team, a stretch of the last few tournaments where they simply do not know how to lose in must-win moments. This is a team that beat France on penalties to win it all in Qatar back in 2022, and now they have delivered another late-game rescue on the world's biggest stage. This time it was not penalties, it was Messi picking apart an England defense that had done everything right for 85 minutes, only to concede twice in the blink of an eye. For England, this loss will sting for a long time. Tuchel's side controlled long stretches of the match, and after Gordon's goal it looked like the bunker approach might actually work. Kane and Bellingham, who had combined for a dozen goals across the tournament, were held to almost nothing offensively in this match, and the calculated decision to sit back and protect a lead instead of pushing for a second goal will be picked apart for months. This is the kind of heartbreak that lingers, especially for a country still chasing its first major trophy in decades. But this moment right now belongs to Messi. He assisted both goals in the biggest 10 minutes of Argentina's tournament so far, and he did it with the calm of someone who has been here before, because he has too. Assists tonight bring his tournament totals into rare territory and set up a shot at something almost no modern national team has done: back-to-back World Cup titles. As for the betting markets after this win, oddsmakers still have Argentina as the underdog heading into Sunday, with Spain favored to lift the trophy, which only adds another layer to the story: a defending champion who has to play spoiler once again against a Spain squad many consider the best team left in the tournament. Whatever happens on Sunday in New Jersey, one thing is already certain: this World Cup semifinal will be remembered as one of the signature Messi moments of his career, not because of a hat trick or a screamer from 30 yards, but because of 10 quiet electric minutes where he controlled the outcome of a match with 2 perfectly placed crosses. And somewhere in the middle of an NFL offseason, Patrick Mahomes was watching closely enough to know exactly what he had just seen, and he was not afraid to say it out loud. 3 GOATs, and nothing else needed to be said. If Argentina finishes the job on Sunday, this will not just be remembered as a great comeback, it will be remembered as the night Messi reminded the entire sports world, including a Super Bowl champion quarterback from Kansas City, exactly why the greatest of all-time conversation always seems to end with his name. Let's rewind for a second, because the build-up to this semifinal deserves its own mention. Argentina came into the knockout rounds carrying the weight of being the team everyone wanted to beat. They were the defending champions, the team that shocked the world in Qatar, and every opponent since has treated a match against them like a cup final of its own. England, for their part, had been one of the form teams of the entire tournament, riding the attacking chemistry between Kane and Bellingham and a defense that had barely been tested in the earlier rounds. So this was not some mismatch on paper, this was 2 heavyweight programs, both with legitimate claims to lifting the trophy. Think about the mental toll of that first half: 2 teams staring at each other, refusing to blink for 30 minutes without a shot on either side. That is almost unheard of on this stage, and it tells you how much respect and how much fear both benches had for what the other side could do in transition. When Gordon finally broke through in the 55th minute, you could feel the entire complexion of the match shift. England suddenly had freedom to do what they do best: sit in a shape, protect the lead, and dare Argentina to find an answer against a low block. For a long stretch it looked like it was working, and for about 30 minutes that plan looked smart enough to carry England all the way to a final. Then Fernandes happened, and 4 minutes later Martinez happened, and the entire narrative of the match flipped. In the time it takes to